Hi Gemini, welcome to your March 2025 AstroTarot scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Check them out for all three so that you know which part of you they resonate with most. But I will say, if you're only going to watch one, make sure it's for your ascendant. It's going to be the most accurate for you on that sort of ground / day-to-day level. With that said, remember, whenever I'm talking about astrology, I am talking about whole sign tropical Western astrology, for those of you that would like to know. And if I ever forget to mention the dates or the degrees of the transits or anything like that, you'll always be able to find that stuff in the description box below. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's get into it. The first transit that I want to explore for you is Venus in the sign of Aries is going to go retrograde. This for you represents your 11th house, right? So Venus goes retrograde in that 11th of friendships, networks, your longer term aspirations, your higher goals, visions and dreams for the future. The things that you really aspire to be or to do or to achieve or even to have or to gain. Because the 11th house represents the gains that we get from our career or from our business, right? It's a time for you to really rethink your connections, to really think about and to assess actually whether people in your circle align with your evolving goals, like where you envision yourself going. Venus in this house is, like when Venus is in this space in our chart, it often highlights how our relationships can support or kind of get in the way of our dreams. You might reconnect with old friends at this time, maybe revisit a group, especially maybe even thinking about causes that once really inspired you. Pay attention to what shows up from, certainly over the next 4 to 6 weeks, because there's going to be something valuable in there, right? Some nugget of inspiration, let's say. Now for you, Venus rules your 12th house, but Venus also rules your 5th house. So ruling that 5th house of creativity, romance, it might even speak about themes around collaboration or collaborative projects that you're working on, or maybe even friendships crossing into romantic territory and vice versa. It's also a really good time to slow down and to reflect on what you're building with other people and whether that really brings you joy or pleasure. 5th house is also a personal business, so this could be some consideration around that. Your 5th house also represents your children, so if you've got them, this may be a time where you're rethinking your approach to parenting. Maybe you're, peeling back on being so much of a friend and being a bit more of a parent and vice versa. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. But remember, Venus is a benefic. So in the 11th house, the house of gains, it can still do good work there, and it may very well bring in new connections, potentially new partnerships. And there's a few reasons for that, right? One, because it's going to be trining to your 3rd house of communications, and it will also be trying to your 7th house of relationships. So for this, you've got the Ace of Swords, you've got the Fool card, okay, nice, and you've got the Justice card. So this is new contracts and commitments that are coming in, absolutely. This is potentially future plans, ideas or endeavors that will be mutually beneficial or lucrative in some way, shape or form. The Ace of Swords with the Fool card, that is definitely a new contract, it could be as well that you have some kind of interview situation this week that comes through your social circle, that comes out of the people that you're already connected to. Since the Justice card is the commitment or the contract, this is a new contract of some sort that comes into your world via the 11th house, which is usually helpful people or benefactors in some way. So this could be really helpful, right? It could actually be very, very good for you. Now, the next transit that I want to talk about, that starts on the 2nd of the month, right? So straight out of the gate, we're back in retrograde city. We've just come out of Mars and Jupiter are finally both direct. We get a very small, tiny window of a breather, and then on the 2nd, Venus goes retrograde. Now, on the 12th of the month, the Sun is going to come into a conjunction with Saturn. Now, you've had Saturn in this 10th house for a while. It's really been making you get more serious about your career. It's been helping you solidify your ideas around where you want your career to go. Since Saturn for you rules your 9th house and your 8th house, there could have been financial considerations around this as well, right? About how you make your money from the work that you do. Even though technically the gains are the 11th house, this could also be that maybe you're that Saturn energy is really refining how you approach your career, and it's asking you to get serious about what you're doing. Now, the Sun in your chart rules your 3rd house of communications, conversations, and your skill set. And then Saturn, as we said, rules your 9th house of education. So 2 educational spaces in your chart, or the educational spaces in your chart, are being highlighted here, along with your 8th house, which is other people's money, resources, etc. It's a really it's a really interesting combination of energies here. And this could be, right, remember the Sun does also represent vitality and the sense of self in general. Aligning with Saturn in your 10th house of career, your public image, your social status. It's a transit for really solidifying your professional goals, right? And maybe even communicating those goals, connecting with power players or mentors, gurus, coaches, etc. that can really help you understand what the right directions are going to be for you now. You might feel the weight of responsibility, right? Saturn, the weight of responsibility on your mind, the weight of your responsibility on your potentially financial considerations, and maybe even because the 8th house has a lot to do with like our wounds and our history. So this might be that there are things in there that you're having to really consider right now. If there's a project or a goal that you've been procrastinating on, this might bring the focus and the clarity that you need in order to kind of really move forward. And as if this wasn't enough, you've got this in a trine to Mars in your 2nd house of money, finances, and resources, but it's also values, right? That 2nd house. So it's bringing a sense here that it's almost like bringing an emotional fortitude around I've got to do this. I've got to do this in order to bring this in, right? And this is money. So in order to really meet my financial goals and needs and all the rest of it, there are things that I'm going to have to do, that I'm going to have to get on with. Don't be afraid to seek guidance or ask for help from a mentor, an authority figure. 10th house is authorities in our lives, because the insight could be really incredible, or maybe it's something that you need. So you got the 7 of Swords with the Queen of Pentacles and the Moon card. This might be, right, because the 8th house, this could be an old story or an old fear that comes to the surface now that really helps you understand where maybe you hold yourself back for fear of being seen, right? Or maybe even for fear of being seen as being self-centered in some way, shape or form. There's a few reasons I could say that. Now, another thing that you do want to watch out with this, just because there's so much energy going on at the moment, that Queen of Pentacles could represent an earth sign person, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, who maybe is not as in their integrity as they portray themselves to be. Since this is in the 10th house, this may be somebody that you look up to. So just watch out for that. Okay, for your the next transit that I want to look at on the 18th of the month, the Sun is going to come into a conjunction with the North Node. Now this is in the 10th house. Right, we haven't had this for around 18 years. You won't have had this transit, and you'll only get probably one more before it's over. So it's a pretty big deal, right? Now, that being said, The sun with the North Node in your 10th house it's really a moment of destiny, right? In your career, in your public life. Opportunities that come up for you at this time, they feel fated, or they feel like they're pushing you more towards your life's purpose. Whatever that might be for you, this could be a really wonderful time. Like if you're thinking, you know, Raf, that sounds really wonderful, but I don't know what my purpose is. Well, explore it with somebody, right? The North Node has that quality. It's in the sign of Pisces, which is a mystical energy. Go and see your tarot reader, go and see your astrologer, go and see your psychic or your medium or all the rest of it. This is a good time to tap into those kinds of streams, especially because it's the North Node with the sun, right? And the sun for you rules that 3rd house. So communication that you're getting at this time could be somewhat fated, but it could be that much more helpful as well. You might find yourself stepping into a leadership role of some sort, receiving recognition for your efforts and your hard-won sort of wisdom, right? All of that stuff could come through as well. It's a time to really think about aligning your actions with your long-term vision, right? So don't hold back here. Take some bold steps, right? The universe is opening doors for you at this time. So think about paying attention to who or what comes in at this moment in time. And also, the connections that you make at this time could have like a really big impact on your future in some way. So for this, you've got the Page of Cups and the message behind, wow, look, right? And then you've got the Wheel of Fortune. Quite literally, it's about your fortune. And then you've got the Four of Cups. So the message behind this is, it really is in the direction of your bliss. The thing that you love, the thing that you want to do, the thing that really lights you up and makes you feel good about your life or what you're trying to achieve, this is where the results are. This is the direction that you're meant to go. And this Four of Cups, it can represent emotional stagnancy, but the truth of the matter is, I feel like this speaks to the fact that there might be a moment where you're like, well, you know, this feels too good, and so therefore it's not enough hard work, and so therefore maybe this isn't the direction for me. Does it always have to be oh so hard? I don't think so. All right, so the next transit that we're going to look at, on the 20th of the month, the sun is going to conjunct Neptune, right? This is the last Neptune Cazimi in the sign of Pisces that we're ever going to have, right? So up until now, it's been about, let's say 15, 16 years. It's been in this sign. And what this means is this is the last time that the sun and Neptune will come together in the sign of Pisces, right? So that's it. This is the last one. So whatever happens from here, it's kind of like a bit of a window where you're getting to see sort of what unfolds here. Now, as the sun and Neptune are coming together in that 10th house of career, reputation, right? Your social status, it's really asking you to think about, you know, to really think about how deep a significant time this has been for you, and also what hope, what inspiration, what potential for dreams around your career is possible now. Neptune's inviting you to dream big, right? To envision a career path that really aligns with a more spiritual vision for your life. Now, it is essential to keep idealism and realism sort of on an even keel here, right? Because we are talking about Neptune, so it can sometimes blur the boundaries. It can, you know, definitely be like an illusory kind of energy. But the question really to ask yourself at this time is, are you pursuing something that's meaningful, or are you chasing an illusion when it comes to your career? Use this energy to really think about your higher purpose and ground your vision with tangible real world steps and directions. The transit is also going to amplify the importance of community, of collaboration. It's going to help you share your dreams with others as well. Now, for this, you've got the High Priestess. You've got to listen to your gut. You've got this with the Six of Pentacles. There are collaborations on the horizon for you, and ones that will truly bring you a lot of happiness and a lot of joy. The message behind this, though, is if whatever collaborations, partnerships and connections or interactions you are working on, taking place with or taking part in at the moment, if they're not truly balanced, meaning if they're not giving to you as much as you are giving to them, this is probably not the way for you to go. And it will be, excuse me, it will be illuminated to you in some regard. But the fact that you've got the Sun card there, you will know, right? Because the right connections that will bring that in are on their way in for you. And then finally, on the 31st of the month, as if this wasn't all enough, we have Neptune moving into the sign of Aries, into your 11th house. This is the first time you will have ever seen this in your life. Neptune's entry into Aries is a focus, and it's obviously moving from your career house, where it's been maybe amplifying, but also maybe distorting how you see your career and yourself out in the world. And now it comes into the sign of Aries, into your 11th house of friendships, networks, aspirations. This long-term is a long-term drive towards a more spiritual and idealistic sort of version of your social connections. Meaning, do you connect with these people on a spiritual level, right? You might feel inspired to join or lead a group that really aligns with a higher purpose that you've got in your life. Remember, Neptune can blur the boundaries, but it is a really powerful time for envisioning a better future, not just for yourself, but for your community. Trust your intuition, listen to it at this moment in time, and let it guide you towards whatever opportunities and or helpful people there are for you. And you may find this, right, that you just connect with people who at a soul level are just like, yeah, I don't know why, but I just have this feeling that I really want to help you. That's the universe sending you who you need. Now for this, you've got the Judgment card. You've got the Knight of Cups, literally help that comes in from or through karmic cycles and patterns that potentially leads you to some kind of wealth. Look at this, right? Because the 11th house is the gains that you get from your career, the money that you make from your business. And the 10 of Pentacles is a money card. It's also a legacy card, which means that at this time, you may start to really envision and understand what you are individually here to do or to create in terms of a group in some regard. So very, very exciting. Now, before we get into your lunations, both of which, by the way, are eclipses. Where are you, Luna? I do want to mention that the wait list for my tarot course is, well, you can now sign up, right? So if you've ever wanted to study tarot with me, this is 12 weeks where I mentor you. I'm going to teach you. It's like a 2-3 hour class every week. You get bonus videos, bonus content. You're going to get quizzes. You're going to get all kinds of awesome stuff. And because it's RAF, you know, you're going to get more PDFs than you care to have in your inbox. As if that wasn't enough, you also get live client practice, live client demo. As if all of that wasn't enough, there are many of you wonderful humans that are scattered all across the globe, and you say to me, Raf, you know, the time difference, it's too much, or, you know, I can't make that day, or I can't do this, and so you're worried and you never sign up. Well, Rafi's got you covered, because this time there is going to be a double launch. For the first time ever, I am launching Teach Yourself Tarot. This is where you can literally take the course in your own time, at your own leisure, in the background. There's no live component. It's going to run throughout the year, so you literally can take it as and when you need or please. All right. So if you've ever wanted to study tarot with me and there have been those barriers in the background, those barriers are now gone. So on the 14th of the month, we've got a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo, right? This is in your 4th house of home, family, property, your inner foundations, the scaffolding that builds your inner world. is the 4th house. It's also your hidden wealth. Because this is a full moon, right? It's a culmination or a completion or maybe even a revelation, but it is with the South Node, which means that this is a full moon. This is like a completion of a full moon. Now, whenever the 4th, 10th house axis is activated, you're balancing your private life with your public ambitions, right? This is where those two sides of you are kind of, that you're going through this dynamic push and pull. Really let go of what doesn't serve you in terms of home and how that's affecting the career, and let go of what in terms of the career is actually hindering you having a better experience in your home life. Now, for this, you have the Gate 61 and Inner Truth. This is a great card to have for a 4th house transit, because it means that whatever is being highlighted, it's being highlighted to you on a really potent sort of level, at that deeper core level. And it's really getting you to see what is true for me, but more importantly, what is true for me now in terms of the person that I am at this moment in time. Now, on the 29th of the month, we've got the, it's a partial lunar eclipse, right? It's a partial new moon solar eclipse, should I say. And it's the last one, right, in this axis. We're finally done with Aries and Libra, thank heavens. Not that I don't like those signs, but it's just been, I feel like this transit has been too much, to be honest. Now, it is just a partial, but it's in the 11th house. This is new friendships, new connections, new group associations that are coming in. This is you being tied to and venturing into new areas of expertise and enjoyment, and potentially even new areas of gains. And for this, you've got the Gate 40 and Solitude. And so the message behind this is, wait until the right ones show up. And if that means having some moments of solitude where there is quiet and there is no distraction or anything for you to escape into or with, this is going to serve you well, right? Be present in it. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care. Oh, and the link for my course is in the description box below.